We are live. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Mama.
Talk about timing. So the son just got home from work. He works for UPS and his first day as a driver will be on Monday. So mom is super happy about the money. No, I'm happy for him. You know how it is, your kids are growing up and you're just not sure where they're going in life, but I'm thankful for how God has worked out every detail for all of my children. But we are live. I can't believe we're here. I'm going to tell you that it's going to take my moderators kind of to tell me, hey, Donzel. Um, yeah, you can tell the one wall has some patches on it. That used to be a door. So we are closed off that door. So we need to get the guys to come out here and finish all the painting and all that good stuff. But we are in the process of remodeling. But kitchen is the best place for today's what we're going to be doing. We are going to be planting out. We have a list. We have a plan. We have the plan that was on the computer. Now the plan is on paper. And so I was told by my garden girls that I started too fast on my last one. They're like, you need to give time for people to jump into the room and know that the light pops up for everyone. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll do that. What I might do is, so that I can see who's joining the room. So this is not going to be rushed. As people come in and out, will be perfectly fine by me today. My niece, Shayla, that's who's in the room. See, I can't see I have my screen over there and I can't quite see that far even with my glasses. So now I have my phone on so that I can see who's hollering at me. So I told my family has been so supportive of my YouTube and my gardening over the years. So I am really super excited to have Shayla joining. She did her first tomato, and then she added some, what's it called? Marigolds to her tomato plant. I forget what the name of the tomato plant is, but I know that the marigolds was called Maryland and Monroe. Was that the name of your marigolds that you added to your tomatoes? My niece is a little extra. So, and if you want to follow her as well on Instagram, Shayla, if you don't mind, throw it out your Instagram. She does this wonderful knit animals. She's she's a knitting queen, and she actually has a shop, pop-up shops in Tampa. So, Ashira Hydra, thank you for joining us today. So I do need to get two more things. So I'm going to walk over. I'm going to be out of the video for a little bit. I should have threw on my, hopefully you can hear me well. I should have thrown on my Azura Hydra. Hi, Mom. That's my son. So family members are popping in. Everyone's kind of, Morris was a tomato. Morris tomato is named Roman. Morris and Marilyn. Sorry, that was the names of her marigolds. All right, so let me go grab 2 1-gallon milk jugs that I'm going to be using to mix my food. So let me go grab those really quick. All right, so I have my water, my jugs here, and so I'm gonna get those to start filling up because I need to stir my food. I do my food a little bit different than most. I learned this where did I learn this? In the Arrow Garden Cracky Facebook group, where I mix my food and just keep continually feeding keep feeding my plant as the water goes down. I do mixed food. I don't follow the AeroGarden rules. So you're going to see me doing things a little bit different, but you do what works for you. But I'm going to do what works for me, and it's worked for me for years. So like I said, this will be my third year doing the challenge. So this is my third year doing this new method, and I absolutely love it. All right, so there's jug number 1. And I fill them up with cold water because we're doing cool season vegetables. So we will be doing the cold method for those. So it's 5 minutes in. I think we've given time for folks to kind of jump into the room here. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. I am Jacqueline. I am the content creator for 4 Seasons Garden. I have been gardening for over 20 years. I garden in self-irrigated planters, SIPs, you're going to hear me call those, because I consider myself a lazy gardener. I don't like to have to water, and I don't like to weed. So I want to do it as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And then I do hydroponics. So that's how I call myself gardening in all 4 seasons. So we are now in hydroponic season. So my winters, when it's too cold outside, because I am in zone 7A. So it's too cold to winter to grow garden outside right now. So I do a lot of hydroponics. If you haven't seen how many hydroponic systems, you can go back and watch my video from my live from earlier this week, where I talked about the different systems that I have. And so let's get started. So told you I have a plan. So the plan for today, let's talk about it. We are going to start the lettuces in the Harvest Elites, some Outrageous and some Paris Island. We are going to start our herbs, curly parsley, cilantro, the mint, and sprouts. Then our peppers, we're going to do orange, red, and yellow. And I couldn't find the AeroGarden green, but that's fine because we actually wanted to do some jalapenos, right? Because we are doing that salsa, all those salsa different things. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then for tomatoes, we're going to do the orange hat in a harvest, the AeroGarden golden harvest in a bounty, the veranda red in a bounty, the Siam and the red velvet, we're going to do it in a Hope Garden, and the sprout LED. So we've got quite a bit of plants to get started. So we're going to start this video. All right, let's go. So here is, we're going to be using the Harvest Elite. I actually have it labeled Outrageous because normally I would only put Outrageous in it, but because we're going to be doing some continuous growing, we're going to put 2 Outrageous, 2 Paris Island, and then we'll start the Merlot and the Red Sails on next Sunday when we start the challenge. All right. Hey, Cece, good morning. I'm so glad you're feeling better. Cece had vertigo yesterday. So I asked her this morning, how is she feeling? And she said she's feeling much better. So we're super thankful for that. So I need to grab the food. Give me a second. All right, we have food. Throw these over here for now. We don't need those quite yet. So we use the Maxi Grow for all of our lettuces, all of our greens. So for satsoi, for lettuces, for kale, that's pretty much it. So we're going to put 1 teaspoon into our jug here. And I need to go grab a lid so that I can shake it. So let me grab a lid. All right, we have a lid. And I just shake it till I feel that it's nice and ready there. All right, and we'll let that sit. I do soak my sponges. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab 4 sponges. And just as you see me raw and reel, this is how it happens when I'm even working at home. Like, oops, I forgot something. And I'll show you in a later video where I have everything kind of lined out here, but I can't put everything on the counter. So I need my tweezers. And I need my caps. Those I do need. So I'll show you what those look like. So I have a hole. I keep them all right here. And the little caps for the extra holes. So you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and these 2 will not have any baskets in it. So we want to actually cover those up so that we don't get any extra lighting in there to keep the algae down. So I want to get 2 that match. I'm a little extra. That's why I put that other one down. So there, those 2 match. I have my tweezers, have my little containers, and we are doing the outrageous. And this is red lettuce. So let me go grab, let me go grab the green lettuce. So I have so many seeds that I have. One that I have labeled. You can see that red lettuce. So I need to go grab the one that's labeled green lettuce for my Paris Islands. One moment. Well, maybe not. We will get back to that. So, but we're going to go ahead and plant our outrageous. I'm not sure where that went. So I do keep mine inside a little baggie, as you can see. So we'll put about 2 in each one. There's 2. 1, 2. So that is now done. And we'll throw this back in here. Probably call my son up here and figure out where is my extra bin. It has disappeared. All right, so that's done. I do use these labels. So I cheated last night to try to be a little bit more efficient today. And I went ahead and wrote everything down. I do use these pens. They're the Artline garden markers. And I bought them like in a packet of 6. And I've had them for about 3 years. The main thing is to just keep the lid on it, because I have forgotten to put the lid back on it and then it dries out. So anyway, so what we're going to do is, here is the basket. I'm going to put my little label on there. And you can see on that label, I have the date that I started it and the plant that's in that little basket. So we're going to go ahead and do that for the other outrageous. It's a red lettuce, like we said earlier. So I like a lot of reds in my salads. And then I do the Paris Island for my greens. So here we go. So that is done. Now we need our domes. So let me grab some of those. All right, so same baskets. I love those baskets. And now we're going to put 2 domes to keep the humidity in the pods so that they germinate a little bit faster. So, all right. Making sure that there is a filter in there. So, filter is in place. Let me show you what those filters look like. So there are these little filters that just go in front of the pump so that it keeps the root, because if you know with hydroponics, they root a lot of roots. So to keep the roots out of the pump, they put a filter in front of it. All right. So that one is now half planted till I figure out where the Paris Island disappeared to. So that is now completed. So we're going to move this to the next staging station. All right, next on our list is our curly parsley, our cilantro, and our mint. So, and those are going into the sprouts. So I have the sprouts here already. I was testing this one out last night. There was a little crack in the front, so I wasn't sure if that was going to affect me planting in it, but it did not, so that was great. So we talked about the roots growing into the plants. So on these, the pump is here in the front. This is where the water aerates. So for these, they have these little grates that go right in here, just like that. And that helps prevent the roots from going up to the pump. So that's done. So here's our lid that goes on there. It has this nice little cap. So if you need to water it, take this little cap off, and then you can water right through there. So we need some baskets. We have our baskets here. So I'm gonna grab 3 baskets. So yeah, I keep my baskets unless they're like really root bound and I can't pop them out. Then I keep them. If not, then they just go in the trash. They all just get thrown out. So there are my 3 little spots there. Was I doing 3? Yes, I am doing 3. So 1, 2, 3. And there is, what are we going to put in here? We're going to do our cilantro. I did not grab it. Let me grab it. Remember, I was looking for my green lettuce. It's right behind me. So we'll come back to it. All right. Here's our cilantro container. And I think for this one, so someone posted, do I check the pH of my nutrients? Nope, I don't. I did it once my whole time, and it just stressed me out. And I'm like, my plants grow perfectly fine. So why am I going to stress out about the pH? I'm using AeroGarden nutrients. It already knows Like it's got it all built into that. The Maxi Grow pH is all grown into it. It's like it knows it for hydroponics. It's just perfect. So I do not test it at all for my hydroponics. I just grow. And you're going to see that journey as we go through everything that we've been doing. Let's see. I thought I had some slow bolts. I don't have any slow bolts. So let's see. Which one do I want to use? All right, we're going to use this So Right Seeds cilantro. I think these are the ones I grew earlier this year. So let's just go for it. Now, anybody who's grown cilantro, you know that cilantro is coriander in the seed form. So, and there's actually 2 seeds in a pod. So you can crack them open. So let me get something to crack it open. Grab my little bowl here. I'm going to use the back of my, and all I do is just crack it open just so that the seed is able to get the moisture right away. So we have now cracked that open. And so for these, I'm going to put 2 in each. So that's going to give me 4 plants if they all germinate. That smells so good now that I've cracked it open. That's amazing. My daughter hates cilantro. So because it smells that weird smell that they talk about, and she said it tastes like soap to her. I love cilantro. I like it in a good salsa. So I'm excited to be growing cilantro again. So now we've got those 2 in there. Let me grab my label. I think I did cilantro. Nope, I didn't. So let's do those really quick here. So 1031, 1031. And yes, they all have the same thing, but I'm extra. Like my niece, like I said earlier, I think she might get some of it from me. But I want them all to be labeled. So let's go ahead and label them all. And I see that my bag's in the way, so you're not seeing what I'm doing. Let me get that bag out of the way. There's that one. And there's that one. All right, we need some domes. 1. Hey, Miss Rashida. She's one of the garden gals. So she is joining. She may be in and out. Oh, and we need to give it some water. So let's get this out of the way. Let's put this back. Cilantro's done. Because if I don't put it back, then I'm going to be running around like a chicken. Like a chicken. Guess what? We got our first egg today. I don't know which one of the chickens gave us an egg. Here, I'm going to show it to you. I couldn't wait. Look at that. I got, we'll get to cracking. There's our little egg, people. She gave us a nice little egg. I'm so excited. They may not lay just for a few more weeks till we get cold, but we got our first egg. So I'm super excited. Can't wait to scramble that baby up and say, I got my own eggs. They were freeloading for a while because I already put in, let's see, food, probably easily $100 in food, probably close to $150. The chickens weren't that expensive. They're like $5 a piece. And then another $300-$400. No, probably about close to $600 in the coop and all the product to build that. So they some expensive eggs as far as I'm concerned, but my daughter loves them. So I'm happy. All right, let's get this container out of the way. I'm just gonna just put it here on the floor next to me. Give me some more room to work. All right, and now we need to give it some food in here. So these have, see if I can show it to you. Little fill line. Hopefully you can see it there. It tells you how far to fill it. So we are going to fill it to that line. And you saw the add water line. So these you'll have to watch. It doesn't have a beep to tell you like the other bigger systems. But I look at these every day. They're my babies. So I take care of them every single day. So I'm going to put this one in the staging area. All right. Next, we need to do some curly parsley. And I think those are in, I'm going to actually use the air garden pods for those. All right, so let me see what's in here. So here's a curly parsley. That's thyme. That's savory. Basil. We're going to do some Italian parsley. There, we'll mix it up a little bit. We'll do some Italian parsley and some, here's one of the mints. And notice that all of these kits come with food. And the food does not go bad. Like, it's just fertilizer, liquid fertilizer. So, and the boxes will come with domes. So if you ever decide to buy a kit from AeroGarden, it will come with domes, it will come with food, and it'll come with your seed pods, baskets, even pre-labeled with the name on there, so you don't have to label them. So be aware of that. I'm going to take that out of there because we might actually use that food today. All right, so I need to find one more parsley and 2 more mints. So let me go grab that. All right, let's see what's in this bag. Mystery bag. Stuff that's, here's another curly parsley. So that takes care of that. Are we planting that today? Nope, so we'll leave that in the bag. So what's in the bag? A little bit of everything. Calendula, Thai basil, thyme, dill, more dill, a mega cherry tomato. So we'll probably do that one tomorrow. Some snapdragons. So it seems like a lot more Genevieve basil. So we're going to just go ahead and see. Okay, this one is more mint. It's not in this box. I don't think I have any more mint. So I'm just going to have to plant my own mint, which is fine. So we have, this is the herb container, nothing but herbs in this container. So here is our mint. He says mint. You can see that. Yep, mint. So we have peppermint, an heirloom mint, and more peppermint. I think I'm just going to do some peppermint. So here is our next container. Needs 2 baskets since I already have one. These 2 will do. And where's our mint? Here's our mint. So that one's already labeled. We need 2 sponges. So there's our sponges. I have this towel here that helps me keep my fingers. I've done this before. So I have a towel that I just kind of lay out so it keeps the counter as dry as possible. Or if I spill something, it's not everywhere. So we will dry our fingers before we get into our seeds. These seeds are so tiny. Like, I can't even tell you how tiny. They're almost like, they're tinier than tiny. How about that? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in here. We might have to thin these out later, which is fine. So I'm just going to take a tweezer full of these. And like I said, we might have to just thin them out later. I got quite enough in that one. All right. So there we go. Whole lot of mint. So I'm going to actually wipe this off because I don't want mint in any of my other containers later on. All right. So I'm actually going to put, I want it for me to know that it's the Fairy Morse mint. Because when I set it up in my Seed to Spoon app later on today, and I'm tracking everything when they start growing, I want to be able to remember which mint that I used. So go ahead and put our little label here. And give me a moment. The dog has learned how to open the front door. And if we don't lock the front door, so I heard the front door and it is fall time. And if I don't keep the door watched, the mice will get into the house. So give me a moment while I go lock and close the front door. All right, we have deterred the mice. And our little circle, there it is. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put our dome. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to use the same, because it's a green, doesn't fruit. We're going to use more of so my 1 gallon mixture filled up 1 harvest in 2 sprouts. All right, move this to the staging area. All right, and since we have a few more to go, I'm going to go ahead and prep this one with some more food so it can sit here and dissolve. So Rashida, yes, I did say mice. I live in the country. I live on 4 acres. Like, I'm in the country. So I got to make sure that I tell my kids, we don't live in a barn. Yeah, we don't live in a barn. So make sure the doors are closed behind you. Don't leave the doors closed because I don't want mice in my house. Have I had them in my house? Yes, I have traps. It's just part of just living in the country. And let me tell you, I'm a city girl. And when I first got the first mouse in my house, yeah, it was not a pretty sight. But we've been here 20 years and I have become a country girl. I still can't take them out. I'll be honest. I can set up the traps, get it ready, but it's the boys. I'd be like, there's a mouse in the trap. I need one of you boys to take it out. So I'm still very squeamish about taking them out. But that's why I got 4 strapping boys that are my sons. 2 were still at home, and they are great mouse. They can get rid of the mice for me. So, and any questions that you have? I had a question. Okay. Do your children help out in the garden when when they're off school. My kids help in the garden. I told you I'm a lazy gardener. So my kids will get out there and help me plant it, but we're in SIPs, so it's really easy. They're just putting them in the spots that I tell them. They're my waterers mainly, and I'm hoping to, with my containers, that this year they will self-water with the kits that come with them, so we don't even have to do that part. My kids have learned to clean my containers out. When I'm out of town, my kids water all my hydroponics. You'll see later videos that I have stickers on the front of all my hydroponics telling them which food needs to go in each one. So my kids, that's what they do in the garden, and they like to eat a whole lot of it. And my kids are all grown. My twins will be 21 tomorrow. So, but do they still work? Yep. As you heard, my daughter has chickens. They're her chickens. So she gets up in the morning, make sure they're fed, make sure they're watered. That is her chickens. My son's, he wanted a dog, so he takes care of the dog. Does mom pitch in when they're not here? Yes, my daughter spent the night at some girlfriends for a pre-birthday. So mom got out there and made sure the chickens were out in the coop and doing their things this morning. So really good, really cool. Rashida said, I know I'm late, but I have a question. Questions are great the whole time. Are the smaller units just for herbs or smaller plants? Yes. They will only go up to, I'll show you this one. This is the sprout. And once I set that system in there, this is as low as it will go. So we're about 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches there. And then this is as far as it will go. So you can do the dwarf tomatoes, which I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing some of the Siam and the red velvet and the micro tom. So those that only grow to 6, 7, 8 inches, perfect for this. And then of course, all your herbs, all your lettuces can go in here, and then experiment. I always say, you want to try something. Flowers are really great in here. They look really great on a curio cabinet or on your side table with some flowers, with some snapdragons, some dianthus, the smaller flowers. Definitely really great for that. And I've seen lots of folks that do that. So the twins are boy and a girl. So thank you, Donzel, for wishing them happy birthday. All right, so I'm going to put this back in the staging area. And the last one that we're going to be planting is our curly parsley. I think curly and an Italian. So that's a curly, yep, an Italian. So we're going to do the 2 curlies in the back and the Italian in the front. And notice that when I'm planting these, if I'm going to be mixing and matching, I want plants that grow similarly because of our lighting, right? I don't want the light to be too far from one plant from the other. So these are all parsley. They all grow the same. So that's why I'm going to put all parsley in this container. And remember I was talking about soaking them? These aren't soaked. So they're not going to get soaked until I add the water because they do come dry from AeroGarden. So we will just put the water in here. And then I'll go and make sure that the sponge is absorbing. And I know that once it absorbs, I may have to come in here and add a little bit more water. And they will float up to the top. So then I will push them down so that they will soak up the water. All right, let's get 3 more domes. So for the ones that weren't here earlier, I pre-mix my solution. And when I pre-mix my solution, I do 1 teaspoon of the Maxi Grow because it's for all my leafy. These are specifically for leafy growth. Notice the bag is green. So, and it's a 10-5-14, and it is specifically for hydroponics. So these, put my lid on there. Can now go to the staging area. All right, we're halfway through our list. So next thing on our list here is the orange, red, and yellow. Oh no, you know what? Let's backtrack. Let's put the mint away. M comes before O. Sit that there. Let's go back to our lettuce. All right, green lettuce. See if where's my Paris Island? Tennis ball. Let's see, it's Simpson. Oh, we might have to get a little creative today and do something different than I haven't done in a while. This was an interesting one. It's called Drunken Woman. My sister had got that and shared that with me. Well, well, well. Not sure where that Paris Island went to. All right, what are we going to do? You know what? I've wanted to grow these. Let's do it. They are a container lettuce by Renee's Garden. They're called Sweetie Baby Romaine. So it says delicious little vase-shaped heads with sweet flavor and a crunchy texture, tolerant of heat. So let's do something new. And let's grab, it's over here. All right. So Rashida, that system that I sent you, I forget how much it was. I think it was $15. It's one of these. My water's already in it, so I don't want to tip it. But it's a little smaller than the one that you got from Shelly for your birthday. But it's really great. Like if you want to dedicate your bigger one that you got from Shelly for your bigger plants, and then just get this small or medium-sized unit for your lettuces and your kale, that could be one thing that you could do. All right, so 2 seeds in each pod. So 2 in there. One and 2. All right. So there we go. Put this back up because we will need it to find the hot peppers in a little bit. HIJK. You know what? Since I have it out, let's go ahead and put the red lettuce up. There. 2 for 1. All right. And now we do have to do a label for these. So 1031, Sweetie Romaine. Donzel, no need to apologize. You're all good. All good. All right, so we did 2 of these. We're gonna put our little label up there. Hey, David Corey, thank you for joining us today. This is a longer live, but we're planting up our hydroponics for this winter. So super excited. All right. So those are done. So let's get our little middle. And so people ask me, do you have to put the label on it? I do. It helps with keeping as much sunlight off of the pods to reduce the algae. And then as far as, do I have to buy the AeroGarden ones? No, these are some aftermarket ones that I buy on Amazon, like Cece says. Could you use foil? Could you use other things? You could, but I like it to look nice and neat. That's just me. So I buy those regularly. If you're really good with the Cricut, you could buy your own labels and make them all pretty. So you could do that as well. Hash Holio, thank you for joining as well. I think I've said hello to everyone that's jumped into the chat. All right, orange, red, yellow, green. I need an ultra. Let's grab one of these. So these are one of the original AeroGardens. So it's one of their bigger systems. So since we're doing peppers, and those peppers are going to grow at least 12 to 18 inches tall, I'm going to put it in one of the larger systems. Gives them a lot of room for their roots to grow. I'm sure if I'm able to show this on the camera as well. But right here is where that filter needs to go in. So I'm going to grab a filter out my box. Do I reuse filters? Absolutely. If they're not too bad, I'll take the few pieces of roots that are in it and I will reuse my filters. I have no problem with that. So we do need to change food. So we're going to put this up. We're going to label it that it is the Maxi Pro. And as my other plants, the plants use the water, I will just have it pre-mixed, ready to go. So I'm going to put this in a staging area too. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pre-mix my food. I like to use these little syringe, but as you can see, this one has had better days and I can't read the numbers on it anymore. So it's actually going in the trash and I buy them by the box. So now we have a nice fresh one for today. Told you we use the AeroGarden foods. You can buy them in the 1 liter or you can buy them in the smaller one. Like I said, if you buy a kit, it comes with it. I often get them when I buy a Facebook Marketplace and someone's getting rid of a system, they're usually giving it away. I bought almost $1,400 worth of food systems. Last year, I took a drive to North Carolina by myself, 4 hours there, 4 hours back. No big deal for me. And they sold it for me for $200, $1,400. And I'll do a video about that. I actually wrote it out, detailed it all, and it was just amazing. It was a sweet little deal. Could not pass it up, but we'll do a video about that probably here shortly. It'll be a fun filler. So I'm going to go ahead and shake my food. And I'm going to use my little plunger here. And for these, you need 11 milligrams. So I usually just top it off. So there's that. So 11 milliliters of food to 1 gallon of water. And I left my lid. Let me grab my lid. I need to grab another lid later. Alrighty there. So let's see. We need to put the lid on here. It has a nice little spot here on the corner where I'll be able to put my water in. So it just pops right up. So let's throw this in here. And we are doing one red, one yellow. We're going to do them in the corners. So, oh, I need a basket. Haha. Did you guys see that? 1, 2, 3. One more makes 4. So, no, just 2. So we're doing 2 in each. So 2. So 1 in that corner, 1 in that corner. That works out perfecto. We'll do it in this corner. Right now we have the food. So sometimes you got to think of like strategically. If I have to lift this here, do I want to plant right here? Do I want to plant right here if I'm lifting this? So the answer is no. So I don't want to plant in this hole unless it's something small like lettuce or something smaller. Since I'm doing a taller plant, it's going to be the pepper in here. I do not want to put a plant there. So that is going to get covered up with one of our covers. So remember I told you I like them all to match. So I'm going to make sure I find 5 that match. That one doesn't match. That one doesn't match. This one matches. All right. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying this, Donzel. So there we have all of those. Now we need to grab our peppers seeds, and I had pulled those out earlier. All right, so here is our yellow. And you know what happens if I don't label it as I do it? I'm gonna forget what color is in there. So I have my labels done, like I said. So label is already done. So come on with yellow seed. And these are really fairly fresh, 2024. My germination rate with Park Seed has been really great. So I'm actually only going to put 1 in there. If it comes up, great. If it doesn't, great. I still have 3 other pepper plants. So not a big deal if 1 does not grow. So that one is now marked yellow. Get it on there correctly. And if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I have something, I have my phone right here really close, so I can see any questions that are popping up in the chat. All right, so that's done. Put them to the side. So now we're going to do a red. That's my art. Good. I hope this, I love growing hydroponics. I love having the green plants in the house. I hope this inspires a whole lot of hydroponics growers. I just think it's just, the winter can get really blah, especially if you're living in the northern climates, and having something to take care of really just, I know it invigorates me. It's okay, Shelly. You can be late to the party. So if I haven't mentioned it, and I should have, part of the Garden Girls, we have a chat and chew every other Sunday night. So we just had our one this past Sunday night. Shelly Homestead Hideaway, Cece's Texas Garden, Rashida Monique, and Lisa's Gardening with Lisa. It's the 5 of us. And these ladies have taken me in under their wings because they were awesome already. And I feel humbled and honored to be with these ladies. Yes, this is step by step. Mimo Duncan, that's my mom. Thank you, Mom, for joining. I'm so proud. So I got my mom into hydroponics 2 years ago. Mom and I went on so many Facebook market chases trying to find her little systems. And Mom's in she's packing right now. So she's kind of got her hydroponics put aside. So as I start harvesting for mine, my mama will be getting some of my extras because someone's like, "Ooh, that's a lot of food you're growing." I think it's the best way to do it. I come from raising 7 children at home. We're down to the last 3. So I don't know how to do anything in small scale. So, and I love giving away what I grow. So, yeah, Meemaw D. Oh, Shayla said hello to her Meemaw. All right, so this one is now done. So we are going to go ahead and put our domes on it. Dome 1, dome 2, and we are going to set this to the staging area. All right, let's grab another Ultra. All right, Ultra number 2. And notice that we use all of the water. All right, so we'll get that to start filling up. I need a filter in this one. So always check for your filters. Like check, double check. Sometimes I'll forget. I've been known to forget, and I'll get started and I'll the water will be full, but I'm like, I need to get a filter in there. So I'll put my hand through the water and get that filter in there because you do not want your pump to get clogged. It is very, very, very important. Hello, Peace in My Garden. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you're learning a lot. I'm just showing you what I do. It has worked for me. And I'm just happy to share. I know that Rashida and Shelly and Cece and Lisa have inspired me. And then, of course, lots of other gardening channels that I have been watching over the years. Let me grab my food. Just to open up. This is let's get the opened one. I just do a plunger full. There we go. Lid on there, a little shake and a little wiggle. All right, let's grab 2 more of these. 1, 2. Told you my little towel comes in handy to dry my hands off. Telling you, lay a towel across your counter when you're doing this. It helps to clean up all the water because I'm telling you there's spills everywhere, but keeps my hands dry for the seeds. All right, so let's do an orange. So we got red, we got yellow. Now we have orange. So there is my orange. Yes, so I used to live in the city. Some people, and you're going to find out what you need to do. Check with your city. Some people will save their milk jugs or whatever containers. use their water, let it sit overnight to let all the chlorine and everything dissipate. Where I lived in city of Manassas, the water was really great, so I didn't need to do any of that. So I would just put my water in there. I'm actually, like I said, I was in the country. I'm on a well. So I will get a little bit more of the hard deposits. I'll show you a little bit on this one. Hopefully you can see it. But you can see there's some like whitening on there. So I'll get a little bit more of the hard deposits. So I use a lot of baking soda and citric acid to break down my water deposits when I clean my systems. I don't think it's worth it for me to go buy gallons of water. So I just know how to clean my systems a little bit better because I have the hard water deposit. So there's that. We have our, see, I told you if I didn't label it, orange. There's my orange pepper on this side. And then we said we're going to do jalapenos because we have the little Napoli that we're going to be starting next Sunday for the challenge. And that's a Roma. So Romas are perfect for salsas. And we did the cilantro. So you need some jalapenos. So let's grab the box again where we keep all our seeds. I have 6 of these boxes. So we are going to grab, and I also inventory. So last year I started inventorying my box. That one says hot peppers. So, because I have so many seeds, I had to split them up. So I know which one. All right, here, right off the top. We're going to do that early jalapeno. I think that's the only one I have in here. Oh, we have another one. Let's just do this one. This one's by Botanical Gardens that we're going to be doing today. So it's an early jalapeno, 63 days to transplanting. It is an heirloom, so I'll be able to save the seeds. 10 to 25 days for the seeds to emerge. So not bad. So this is going to be, I think I'm going to do 2. And then if they both come up, I'll do one of 2 things. I will just cut one off, or I may choose to try to split it. If I do it pretty young, I can split it, and then I may stick it like up front in this front area and have 3 in here. You could do 3, 2 works best, but we'll see what happens. Yes. Do I have the light that attaches to these units? Yes. Let me grab one so you can see it. All right, so here's the lighting system for the Ultra. And these just slip right in here, like so. So it has these little notchy things here, so you can adjust the height. It just slips in there like that. So, like I said, this one is an Ultra, so it will go up to, there sits fully extended. And let me tell you, my peppers will get all the way in this area. So almost, I think it's 18 inches here, if I'm not mistaken. So they will need all that space to grow, for sure. I'll lock it there so I can pull this back out. All right. Set this over here for now. All right. So now we need to label. So 1031, early jalapeno. Now put Botanical Gardens BG so that I remember when I put everything later on in the app to track which one it was. So there is that label. We need some caps. We need 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can tell you they got to match. So I have to dig in here to find one that matches. There it is. So there we go. Caps in place. Keep the algae out. Keep the sunlight out so we can keep the algae down. And let's get this in here. So this will hold a whole gallon of water. So that now goes to the staging area. All right, I'm going to fill this one up. So we have now done our list, our lettuce, our herbs, our peppers, and our fun stuff now. Our tomatoes. We're going to start off with 2 orange hats and a harvest. So let's put these peppers up while I'm thinking about it. Those are sweet peppers. H comes before S. All right, there we go. All right, and let's go ahead and put our food in here so it can sit. That makes it so nice and easy. These syringes, they're the best. All right. Put the chat so I can see if I need to answer any questions. Organization is a must, yes, especially for inventory and making notes along the way, yes. All right, so orange hat. I think I had pulled that out. I love their packages. Baker Creek does the prettiest packages. Where did I put that harvest? There it is. All right, we have our harvest. It is one of the medium-sized ones. So I showed you the elite, the older version. So this is their second generation. And then they have a third generation now of harvest. But these work really well. All right, we need another filter. So these filters must have been really nasty. They don't have filters in any of these. And all of these, they do in the harvest, it does have a way for you to know when it needs water. So hopefully you can see that. It gets the fill line, and then it has this little doohickey right here. And it uses the water pressure for it to tell the system on the front of the system when you need to water it. We'll do a whole different video on that, on how that works. But I'm gonna get this tucked, the cord tucked into it. The little spot to tuck the cord in. All right, so we're gonna do 2 orange hats. This one has the water, where to fill the water is right here on the front. So remember we said we don't want plants close to where we have to lift to put water in. So we're going to actually put those 2 orange hats right here in the back. Let's grab 2 more baskets. there, basket there. And told you I'm extra. Give me a second. So I have light colored ones to go with these. So, all right, here we go. So we have our light colored lids on here because I'm extra. So, and then we need 2 more sponges. So I told you I do soak my sponges so that they're just nice and moist, ready to go. Just helps with germination as far as I'm concerned. For some reason, I didn't stick these seeds in a packet. So this is why I like to go back and put my seeds in one of those reclosable bags. I don't know if you can see that there, but the seeds are now stuck there on the top. So I'm going to use those seeds here. You can jump in my live. I don't mind. So here is my twin son. He has a birthday tomorrow. He'll be 20, all of 21. All right, and it said 10 seeds in here. I have already used this packet already before. I've even given my mom some seeds. So there must have been a whole lot more than 10 seeds in this packet because I gave my mom seeds. And I'm just going to throw, don't have to, but I'm just throw one in for good measure on that one. All right. So orange hat. I did label for that one already. So I told you I was kind of organized today. I can be a little haphazard sometimes. It's okay, Peach, my garden. I know you guys don't mind if I'm extra. Oh, my sister's in the room. Hey, little sister, Ty Whitcomb. That's my sister. Man, I'm telling you, my family has just showing out today for me. And I don't know, she's the queen of extra. I'm just the princess. So I am excited. Oh, I hope I get some new subscribers from this. Absolutely. It's just fun sharing. I've just had a fun time today sharing everything that I've learned, just seeing how much, I don't think it's a lot of work. I'm enjoying myself getting this already today and knowing that for my lettuce, 3 or 4 days, everything will start sprouting. And then in 20 days, I'll be able to use all my lettuce. In about 60 days, I'll have these orange hat will start giving me fruit. All of my microtoms will start giving me fruit. My bigger ones will take a little bit longer. So, see, Ty, I got proof now. Mom says that you're the queen of extra. Ha ha ha. I now have proof. So here we go. So orange hat, we need some domes. That dome's a little dirty. Won't use that dome. All right, dome, and that is now done. Now we're just whipping through these. And notice that we only used about 2/3 for the harvest. So I'll put this in staging. All right, what's next? Planned. Air garden harvest goes in a bounty. So you've seen the sprout, you've seen the harvest, you've seen the ultra, and now we're going to start a bounty. All right, so here's our bounty. The filter goes right in here on the bounty. It's a little bit different spot. These come with also the water gauge. It tells me how much water it'll give on the front of the systems. Let's say we'll talk about it different. It'll tell me when the water is low. This one also attaches to their app. So the app will send me a little notification saying, hey, Jacqueline, you need to add water. So here we go. I need a front. So I keep a Ziploc bag with all my parts, extra lids, to everything. Organization is part of the game when you have a lot of parts. So there we go. So where we fill the water, here's our cover. So we just pop that cover off. So we have a spot to add our water. All right. What do we say we're putting in here? Golden Harvest. Well, let me grab that box. All right, this is an heirloom. These are the only ones that I have of these tomato plants. So I'm going to make sure that I save some of the seeds, because I only have 3 of these left in this box. Well, no, I actually have 4. Oh, so I've got quite a bit. And another food. So I'm going to take the food out. And it's brand new. I'm telling you. The only food that I have bought since I have started this AeroGarden journey is this bottle. And that's only because it was such a good deal and I thought I'd run out. And I was supporting another Facebook person, so in their business. So here we go. Yes, Shelly, that is the little sister that does all our Jamaican. Shelly from Homestead Garden lives about an hour and 15 minutes away from me. So she's in Maryland. I'm in Virginia. So I will cross the border over the Wilson Bridge over to see Miss Shelly. And she's got this great cousin that does a Jamaican food truck. I'm telling you, the food is to die for. And so about every 2 months, hey, Shelly, you want to get together? Let's go to the food truck. So I've gone and gardened with Shelly. Shelly and I've done notary stuff together. Matter of fact, I will see Shelly this Saturday for another notary thing, and I will be spending the night. So Shelly, just get ready for another Jamaican food truck run, since I'm going to be all the way up there. So we've got our Golden Harvest in. Where are we going to put this one? Since we're only putting this one in there, we're going to put it right here in the back, in the middle, so that as a plant grows, it'll have a lot of room to grow. I'm going to make sure this one is trellised, and we'll show you a video about that later on because it's going to grow so tall. We do want to trellis this one. So let us grab, you know what? Let me go grab another milk jug. And why do I have so many milk jugs? Because I do winter sowing. So we'll do a video about that later on. So while that's filling up, let's grab, we need, this is also a 9-pod. So we will need a whole lot more covers for this one. All right, so let's start covering up these holes. All right, there. All 9 holes are covered. Let's get some food into this water. And I like to shake every time. So we're going to be doing this because it'll settle at the bottom with all the nutrients. So we will shake every time. So if you haven't shared, please share. If you haven't liked, please like. And if you are new to the room and you haven't subscribed, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. All right. And this one will take all this water, plus some of the other. This system's a little bit bigger. The water, the reservoir is a little bit bigger on the Bounty than the Ultra, so it will use that, and that's all that's left on that one. All right, and then I'm going to push this one down so it gets wet. And I'll go back and check on it in a little bit too. All right, so go ahead and throw our dome on that one and move this one to the staging area. All right, so orange hat done. So we are now doing the veranda red. We're going to do that one in a Bounty as well. Where's my other Bounty? Let me grab it. All right, there we go. This one does have a filter in it, so that's great. And we need a basket. That's good. And let's grab our tomato. All right, let me go grab the tomato container. All right, this is our dwarf. That's cucumbers. Don't do that one. All right, dwarf tomatoes. Not sure where my veranda red went to. That's cucumbers. That's cucumbers. More micro toms and tiny tims. All right, we might have to come back to that one. That's okay. We've come back before today and we've made it back, so we will figure out where that one is. So we will set this one aside. All right, next. So we're now in our Hope Garden. And if you can notice that is a opaque bottom. So it is clear, but it's like this gray color. And I was like, once we do this, I was like, will I get algae in here? And I have now grown 6 or 7 times out of these. And you get to see all the rooting systems. So I can't wait to show you the video where you'll get to see all the roots growing in here. It's a nice little system. My first one I got free. Someone was getting rid of all their gardening stuff. It was thrown in on the whole pile of stuff outside. And I was like, what is a hope garden? And so I bought that one. And since then I have become, it's my second most favorite system. I have 3 of these opaque ones. They're great size, 12 holes. So if I wanted to start tomatoes in here, it's really great for like when I'm going to start my tomatoes for transplanting. I can start them and leave them in here for at least a month and a half comfortably in here. Whereas if I'm using one of the seed starting trays, I actually, like Cece will tell you, like within 3 to 4 weeks, they have to come out and be up potted because they will not grow in here very comfortably. In the seed starting tray. But in here, I have a little bit more room. It's a great container to do my seed starting. And you notice I don't always plant in all holes. We got to give the plant some room to grow. So in the air garden, we are going to do the Siam, which is those little, the kitchen minis. So we said that we're going to do 3 of them because they're so tiny. So our watering hole on this one is here in the corner. It's okay. I'm going to tell you. What I do for this, I lift one of the front ones and water from the front. I will pop one of these off like so and water from the front. I just don't think it's in a good spot. Personally, I do like the ability to move it back and forth to water, but I just don't think it's in a great spot for this one. So that's just my 2 cents. But otherwise, the system works really great. So let's get some baskets. Since these are so tiny. So I'm going to actually put one close to that hole. Put one in the front. And then put another one in this back corner. So those are those 3. Let's grab some pods. 1, 2, and 3. So come on. There we go. All right. Not sure what happened there. Let me know if you guys are back. Someone in the chat says that you're here. Yes. Good. Awesome. Good. I don't know what happened there. I probably said I'm giving out too much good information. All right, so let's go ahead and label these 3. And this is a fruiting plant. So we're going to still keep using. All right, good. Everyone's jumping back in the room. All right, good. Not sure what happened there. It became unstable. All right, we need food. Let's put some food in this one. Notice that we're still using the same bottle, and we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is our 8th system, and we are still going strong with the same bottle that wasn't even a brand new bottle. It still had food in it. Let that shake up a little bit. All right, our water's almost full. So here's our bottle. Let's go ahead and throw some. All right, so we're at the bottom of this bottle. So this is 8, and we need 3 more. And there's 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. So get a knife. All right, we have our bottle open for the next one, because we are going to need it. Your kale and lettuce has started to germinate. Wow, that was what, 2 days ago? That is amazing, Rashida. Do I wait till the kale almost goes to the top of your dome before you take the dome off? So just let the dome on. Some people will tell you to remove it. I keep mine on till about touches. So you're going to need to just find out what works for you. But I just keep them on. It just gives them that little cozy area with all the moisture that they need. And once they're almost to the top of that dome, then I'll take them off. Wednesday night. Wednesday night. Wow. So less than 48 hours. That is amazing, Rashida. So Rashida has just started the hydroponics journey. So super excited. Shelly got her system for her birthday. And I sent her some seeds specifically for. So with this one, it has on the front where the max is. So I'll show you on the other one in a second. All right, so we're going to put our 3 domes on. Dome. Oh. There's the dome, and then we need some covers. So let's get our covers on here. So yes, I'm trying to find matching covers. So there. Need 2 more. And there's that one. All right, so we only used 3 out of the 12, so we've covered up all the other holes. And we're going to move this off to the staging area. All right, so I'll be able to show you on this one. That one's too heavy to show you. So that one, you can see the measurements on the front. This does 4 liters. So that's why it used almost a whole gallon in there. And the pumps on these are super quiet. So I almost think it wasn't even working. And the reason I don't need to check for the pumps because the filters are built into the inside of these. So when I'm putting it back together, I have to put a filter back in there. So that's why I didn't need to check with the Hope Gardens for the filter. So what are we doing next? We are doing some red velvets. So we need 3 of these. 3 of these. All right, 3 of those. Try my hand on the towel here. And the red velvet is part of the kitchen mini series. So I got these in 2024. The Park Seeds doesn't put the year that that they send that seed out to you. So I will write it in myself when it comes in, so I can kind of keep track like how long I've had that seed packet. So 1 in each one, and then 1 for good measure in the front one. But I do only grow 1 seed per pod for my peppers, for my tomatoes. The herbs, you can do 2 to 3. even 4 because they're herbs. So they'll be fine growing more than that. So there is that. I'm gonna pour these out so that I can grab the ones that I want for this one. And yes, I'm covering up every hole because I don't want any algae growing in here at all. 2 more. All right, I have to break down and put one that doesn't match. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. So Shelly says, wait for the plane to reach almost the top of the dome. Yep, that's what I've done. It works out really well. So we need to label. Because remember, if I don't label, I forget. So there we go. This is the red velvet. And then remember when we did our live the other day, we wanted to test, like if you had a smaller system, you can't afford the bigger system. So you might pick up a little sprout on Facebook Marketplace for like $15. How would it grow in one of the smaller systems? So we're going to do some testing of that. So we're going to set this to the staging area and I'm going to show, oops, you notice? I was like, whoa, how did that pick up so quickly? Didn't put no water, didn't have water in there. So let's get some water in here. Add the last of this one. All right, add some of this one. All right, there's our 4-liter mark. Isn't too bad. So move this off to the staging area. And so we're going to grow these in the 2.0 version, the 3.0 version of the sprouts. So that's going to be more than enough room to grow those 6 to 8 inch ones that we're going to be growing. So but I wanted you to do a little quick comparison. So this is their model before, and look how much difference in the height. So people are like, so why the difference in the height? Not sure, but it still works. You don't have as much growing space, but they still work really well. All right, so we're going to do one of each in these. So one basket. We're going to actually put it just dead smack in the middle. Told you I reused them. So this was an old Aero Garden one. The roots came out really well. I save it. And I'm going to reuse. Yeah, happy Friday. I didn't think about that. This is a happy Friday. Donzel, thank you for reminding me. Happy Friday. Love happy Fridays. Happy Fridays when I'm doing gardening and I'm not working. So it's even better happy Friday. All right, so this one Here is the pump. The pump's a little bit different. Notice the pump's been different on all of them. And this one actually does not have a sponge. So I am going to have to cut one down to get in there. So, handy dandy Cutco knife here. And just like that, we have a filter. So we're going to cut that in there. And we're going to pop this in here. These do not pop in as easy as you think they do. I always feel like I'm going to break it. But it's now in there. We will throw away the pieces of the sponge there. Check and make sure that we have it on there. So yeah, we have one in there. So there we go. We are, did you guys see that? The sponge actually popped out of there. Ugh. This is the part I don't like with these. They're not as easy to work with as the older model. Like I said, I always feel like I'm going to break it. So I try to be gentle. Of course, because I'm on video, it's going to give me that much more trouble today. There. So let's get the sponge back in here. Because I cannot afford to have roots in these. All right, there. Woo-woo, got it. All right. Perfecto. All right, we need some white caps. 1, 2. All right, white caps are on here. Now we need some labels because I did not do extra labels. So 1031, Siam, 1031. Red velvet. Oops, almost lost my pen. All right, so we'll do cyan first. There's a 1. Let me label it right away. All right, there's our cyan. Perfect. And our red velvet. So we're going to be able to see how it grows in a larger system in the A-Hope garden. And then we'll be able to see how it grows in a smaller system, if that's all you can afford. But you still want to have some fresh tomatoes in your home. I know there's more in there. There it is. All right. So there is that. And let's get our label on there. All right. We need a dome for each of these. Dome. Wash that one later. Dome for that one. Remember our fruiting plants. It's the AeroGarden food. So that's the last of that one. Oh. So I think this will be our last of it. We are wrapping up. All right. Grab our food. Whoops. See, told you this is why we have this towel on here. There's our food. Trade lids. Shake her up. This also has a little line that says fill to. So we're just going to fill it up to that line. And then our little caps. So the cap goes on the front. Let me grab one out of my bag here. There we go. All right, so we have come to the end of our list. So today we came with a game plan, started right around 10 o'clock. I needed to get the sun comes right through this window. And as you notice, I don't have blinds. I love the open window. I live on the country. So no blinds on this window in my kitchen. So we needed to get the sun out of the way. So I still have a little bit of halo. So yes, I'm an angel, sis. But anyway, so our little quick recap. And our lettuce today, we planted the outrageous and the, we ended up not doing the Paris Island because we lost that packet. So we just ended up doing the Sweetie Romaine by Renee's Garden. And we did that in a Harvest Elite. We did 3 herbs. We did our curly parsley and an Italian parsley. We did a cilantro, so we could do some salsa. And then we did a mint, so that we can add it to our lemonade. I've been a really big lemonade kick, try not to drink any kind of carbonated drinks. So I wanted to add a little mint to my lemonade. Then we did the 4 peppers, the orange, red, and the yellow, and did we jalapenos because we need jalapenos for our salsa. Then we did some tomatoes, the orange hat in a harvest, the AeroGarden Golden Harvest that gave us a yellow fruiting cherry tomato. We did that in a Bounty. Then we did the Siam and the Red Velvet. Those are kitchen minis, so the smaller tomatoes, really quick return, 45, 55 days, you'll have fruit. And we did those in the A-Hope Garden, so you can do it in a little larger system, but we wanted to show you what it would look like in one of the smaller systems as well. So if you can't afford the bigger systems, get the smaller systems. Like start small in your home. Because I'm telling you, just being able to have some fresh veggies straight out of your garden, you will use it. I find that I use it if I'm growing it fresh. Lettuce, I will throw away if I buy it. Lettuce now is fresh. I can eat it, or I can, like I said, since I'm starting so much stuff, mom's packing, her systems are down. I'll be able to give her some. My sister recently had surgery, so she hasn't got her hydroponics up and running. So I'll be able to give her some of my extras as well. So thank you for all the questions that came through the chat. We'll have D2 hopefully tomorrow, depending on how my day goes. We have to do some chicken planning tomorrow now that the chickens are laying. So we have to probably rearrange the day. And of course, tomorrow being the twins' birthday. So we'll do a little something with them. celebrating on Sunday. Hopefully, maybe I think they're going out to dinner on Sunday afternoon. Um, so that'll be fun. Um, so thank you for joining. I want to thank my moderators, Rashida, Cece, Shelly's from Homestead Hideaway, being here to help moderate the room as well. These ladies have been, I love these gals. Just really have enjoyed working with them. So have a great Friday. See you tomorrow. I will try to figure out sometime today what time the live will be tomorrow, so that we can do round 2 and get everything up and running. And then next Sunday afternoon, probably around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock frame period. I'll figure out what time we will do all the Arrow Garden, Cracky, Everything Garden Challenge, the Hydroponics Challenge by Chris McDonald. So everyone have a happy Friday. Thank you for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe to Four Seasons Garden. And I'm Jacqueline, content creator. Have a great rest of your day.